what's happening? It's your dude, the merciless Reece Black. Welcome back to the booth. Today I actually wanted to discuss something that was spoke about a while ago, but I really don't think that anyone has really went in depth in it. And if they did, I'm sorry, maybe they didn't. I just wasn't present. But I wanted to talk about if women should be allowed in the manosphere. All right, I know this is going to be a little bit touchy because if pretty much anybody looks up how the manosphere is defined, it's not the most positive definition. Nah, usually it's very, very derogatory. People think of the word manosphere, they pretty much describe it as a haven for men that, a haven for broken, hurt, disturbed men with no game who become red pill aware, right? Men going their own way. But it's actually more than that, unfortunately. I mean, the manosphere is pretty much just a space where men get together and they network when it comes to the social disturbance, when it comes of masculinity. That's pretty much what it is. And we do our best to try to help other men in areas of self-improvement so they can not only do better in life, but yes, they could be, do better with the ladies, right? But of course, when you guys see manosphere, you see just a downward spiral of a bunch of men complaining in the world of dating. Like, they have zero game, they always mouthing off, they don't like black women, they don't like hoes and slut, and they worry about body counts. That's it. But that's not pretty much what it was supposed to be. Nah. Now, moving on, there was this talk about, especially in the black manosphere, should women be a part of the black manosphere? Should women just be a part of the manosphere, period? Here's my take on it. And you guys can look at me toward, as bias. Of course, on the Carbon Ops Rockcast, when we did our show, we invited women on our platform to have discussions about any and everything, right? And as you guys know me personally, I also still do collaborations with women, and we have down-to-earth discussions about things that are a little bit disruptive in the world of dating and today's social atmosphere. So my answer is, I do believe that yes, women should be invited into the manosphere, to speak on these things, but which women? That is pretty much, I think, I'm not sure if it was discussed, because we want to know which women do want to come into the so-called manosphere or come on many platforms. And if they're coming in, are they very genuine about what they want to speak on? I know we have what we call the pick-me's. We have pick-mishas, whatever. You got these ultra feminine women who have a gang of content on femininity and masculinity, and also respect for men, things like that, right? But we really can't tell who's authentic, who's genuine, or if they're just a disingenuous content creator who's just coming in, just trying to pick up the views and the subs from broken men, because that's what's happening. One of the arguments that was taking place way back when was these women are just using the men to get more views and more subs, because there's just been men who've had platforms out for years who have been building and building and building. Some got up to 50,000 subs, pushing 100, or now crossed over 100. But when a pretty face that's new comes on talking about femininity, women, we need to do better, doing reaction videos to women who are on the bullshit and TikTok and stuff like that, and they are already at 50 or approaching, the 100,000 body count, it's like, wow. So I've been doing this content for the 2 to 3 years, and this chick comes along and all of a sudden she's already about to hit 100,000 bodies on the count. What am I doing wrong? Is this pretty privilege? And I think that's what a lot of men, especially in content creating, I think that's pretty much what pisses them off, though. But getting back to inviting them on the platform for discussions, I believe it should always happen like that. But like I said, it just depends on who. If they are very genuine and the responses to the discussion of what needs to be better amongst ourselves to where we can all date better and date healthy, make right decisions, great selections when it comes to a mate, then yes, I believe there's a lot of women out there that need to be that representation of what men are looking for. But on the other side, we just can't have all these feminine women coming into a space to talk about other women being ratchet to broken men. It's like the men, what are you doing to better yourselves? There is a lot of complaining that happened with these men. These men, like, they talk about women are now obese. And it's like, well, what are you doing just hollering at the obese women? Or where are you where you're just only surrounded by the so-called BBWs that you are just not feeling? If a girl is too thin, if a girl has too many kids, if a girl is broke, she's not even about like her own life. She's just trying to live off of men. She's just on OnlyFans. Look at the type of women that men seem to complain about so-called in these spaces. Every manosphere space is different, even though we want to look at manosphere as a whole. But every platform is different. You have some men who complain about women that nobody wants to date anyway, but they still steady keep talking about this woman. If you don't like to date single parent mothers, why are they still constantly coming out of your mouth? If you don't like BBWs, why do you still talk on them? If you don't like ratchetness, if you don't like women on OnlyFans, why do you always continue to talk about them? You really don't see too many women come out of the gate asking the men these questions. And this is where the disingenuous happens. Now you have the women who are pretty much feeding the broken men or feeding the frustrated men. I don't want to say that all the men are broken, but they keep on feeding, keeping throwing propane on that flame of these men who are frustrated with their dating. But it's almost as if no one just said, where are you going? What's so great about you where you think you're supposed to have the dime piece of all? Like, what are you doing to improve yourself? You are what you attract, is what they say. So if you're an educated man, how come you're not going to places where women are educated? If you have a PhD, you don't want to holler at a woman with a PhD because somebody out there said that any woman with a PhD just ain't gonna make the cut. Way too many influences. So in my opinion, I think that, yeah, there should be a few women that should come into the space and just ask questions to some of these men. Where are you going? Where do you live? How are you dressing? What are you looking like? Do you work out? And yeah, you got men who are going to be somewhat on the defensive. I shouldn't have to work out. So nowadays, grown men are pretty much entitled, right? So they don't want to hear these type of questions coming from women coming out of nowhere up into the space. Like, how dare you ask me that, how dare you dang near question my body type, my income, my purpose? But they're women. They can. It's not exactly a G check, but it's kind of like a reality check. So I do think that women should be able to come into the spaces just to spark the discussion on, yes, men's self-improvement. We have viewers, we have subs, and men in comment sections going in on why they're done dating, right? We understand why women are done dating. Women are done dating because they don't feel like there are enough men out there that are just reliable to lead, reliable to be depended on, reliable to be responsible. And then on the other side, we have men who just feel like none of these women are making the cut. They all suck. Everybody's a single parent mother. Everybody's a BBW. Everybody's ratchet. All these women are masculine. That's all you hear. So there, the women should be able to question, where are you going where you're not finding anybody feminine? Or where are you going where everybody is just having everybody's babies? But yet a lot of you guys out there, you are trying to learn how to have one night stands and all this other stuff. You're trying to learn how to be sexually attractive to women. So do you want a relationship or not? And I think a lot of these women do need to come into the space to pretty much ask you some questions where you need to figure out, what do you want to be? Do you want to be the family man? Do you want to be married? Or do you want to be a player? Pick one. You can't be both. And you sure in the hell just can't have women throw their draws at you. It don't work that way. Some women, they see you, they find you attractive. They might throw a couple of choosy signals at you, but you still got to go over their talk. So what is your mouthpiece like? And a lot of these women that have came up in the space and they've heard some of these men talk, in their minds, they're probably thinking like, I wouldn't date none of these dudes on this platform. I wouldn't talk to either one of you. If I had a daughter, I would make sure they stay away from y'all asses, because yes, some of the men in the manosphere are kind of like whack. And it is kind of unfortunate, because you would think that some of the men who have sense in the manosphere would really, really, really go in on other content creators that are actually somewhat making it very discouraging for other men to date. Dating is supposed to be fun. We're not even supposed to be taking it hella seriously as people are doing right now. But women can pretty much just damn near season it a bit to where it's like, yo, I'm a representation of what I believe women should be. But if you and I are having a discussion, I can feel what your energy is like. You're not feeling women right now because you have some unresolved personal issues with yourself. And a lot of men, grown men, don't want to hear that. They don't. So, in my opinion, yes, I do believe that, yes, some women should come into the space, just the ones that got sense, though, and they should come in, represent, and somewhat bring balance, to the whole entire space. I know it's called the manosphere, and yes, it should be for men, but if men are trying to be good with women and successful, should we talk to other men about that? Or should we have a representation of femininity come join the space here and there sometimes? But anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and give my opinion on that and throw that vid out there, and y'all know how I do. I'm out this piece. Good evening. Mr. Black.